Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Something special happened today. I got green lights all the way, with no big red sign to stop me, no traffic jam delay. See, I was driving over the moon in my big hot air balloon, floating high into the darkness. I hope I get there soon. There's so many things to do, so many people I need to talk to, and they've all been waiting for me. Well, I gotta make it through. Something special happened today. I got green lights all the way, with no big red sign to stop me, no traffic jam delay. Thank my stars for every green. You have no idea what it means. No, no. To a man who's always traveling, who's seen the things that I've seen. I don't know what's yet to come. Not sure of anything that I've done really makes that much difference. Well, I hope it has for some. Something special happened today. I got green lights all the way, with no big red sign to stop me, no traffic jam delay. Well, I was driving over the moon in my big hot air balloon, floating high up in the darkness. I promise that I'll make it to you very soon. Something special happened today.
All right, there we go. Y'all just went into some severe technical errors, and I'm still trying to. I think I got rid of them. I think we in business. I don't know 100% for sure. Something is not looking right. Okay, I'm just had to check a few things. All right, thought something was on fire behind me. That damn candle, the one to the left, it looked like it's too much fucking fire in that motherfucker. I was like, God damn. What? thought it like was setting the blaze beyond the normal. All right, let me make sure everything is good because I still can hear something that I don't think I need to be hearing. What's going on, everybody? We here. We in here. We back. We back. CP time in full effect. Let me do a little final double check, make sure everybody can hear me. I apologize for the technical difficulties, but ever since I've been trying to do this thing on camera with new equipment, it hasn't been a easy process. Not quite, a fine-tuned machine over here, but we getting it going. I'll borrow Obsidian's phrase. Some assembly is required. So I still got some assembly required here. Still got some assembly required. All right. So all that's done and all that's out the way. Let me take a sip and see what's going on in the chat. Shout out to the Early Bird Squad, those that make it in bright and early. Drop a comment before things really get started here. I see some super chats already made it in bright and early. I know I appreciate that. Appreciate everybody who keep this thing going. I put a lot of money into making this work, repolishing my basement and making it look like something presentable. Bought a lot of equipment that I must be honest and say that was a lot of this shit in here. The expensive camera, the monitors, the lights, and all of this shit. Funded by you all. So I mean, yeah, support me with your super chats. I'm gonna keep doing what I can to make a better show to the best of my ability. And thus you're seeing some of the results of it. Damn it. See my camera a little crooked because everything looked like it's at an angle. Looked like if I put a ball right there to roll down. That happened when the first time I cammed up, I noticed the camera was crooked. So yeah, going to be more and more unforced errors. I can't get them all out the way, but I'll try. But what's going on? Welcome everybody to Early Bird Squad to make it in bright and early, even though it ain't that early because I'm coming on late. When I set out on this, I wanted to come on right at 9 a.m. That don't always work, apparently. But we still in here. And shout out to those that made it in bright and early. What's good? The Mac the Trucker. He says, what's good, everyone? Bowdy Thug. The Mac the Trucker hit me with the first comment. Getting back in his old spot. He used to be there every day, but now he been slipping on his pimping. But he back. Chief BD in the building. Who else we got? Big J601 in the building. Cool Gent, what's going on? Aaron B, M and Perry, SKC, drinking coffee and doing paperwork and smoking a blunt. Why you leave that out, SKC? You know you be smoking blunts. That's where that goddamn coon laugh come from. Nobody laugh like that sober. New in the building. Just got my check. It's 7 o'clock. We're on sound like you trying to buy some pussy for $40. New trying to buy some pussy. God damn. Says Kenny Conjo says salutations, Bernard. What up, Kenny Conjo? What's going on? And we in here. LaShawn H says hi, Bernard. Hello to you. And my man, Black Wolf Inc. in the building. He says, Bernie, pause one time to smell yourself. You on your grown man-ish, my brother. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. I think I got my camera stuff good enough. I sent you an email, Black Wolf, because you had wanted me to get a one-on-one going with somebody, and and I was like, I got to get my shit together before I reach out to this individual in question. So I sent you the email, but I think I got it together to where it'll look good. It'll look good when I get the one-on-one going with the said individual. I'll leave it to be a mystery for right now, but I haven't formally reached out to him yet, but I will. I just wanted to get my shit together. I didn't want to do it and then have it be all, have my picture, my video quality not right and technical difficulties. So I wanted to get my first week and a half test running this thing by myself. Well, not by myself, but on camera with new equipment before I, really start trying to do some big one-on-ones with bigger content creators. But yeah, it's in the works. Be patient, because he sent me $50 so I can get that done. I haven't got it done yet, and so much time go by, I'm gonna have to send you the $50 back if I don't get it done. But I'm gonna get it done. If not, I'll send it back to you. He said, best intro on YouTube. Thank you very much. I appreciate that and appreciate the super chat. Chief BD says, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday, everyone. Yeah, that buffering is becoming, I don't know if it does that every time with the intro, but I know it was doing some, I don't know. I got to figure that out. Those are more of those technical errors, unforced errors. I don't know why it does that when I play the intro. I think it might be a StreamYard thing. Elbow cough. Okay, y'all tripping. All right, let me see what else we got going. All right, okay, Zero, I'm going to take your wrench and have everybody time you out. I think somebody called, well, no, I'm not going to say us. I'm going to say you and Judge Zilla. I think somebody called y'all the educated flames. If you don't know, yesterday, Zero put forth a really compelling argument that suggested that men, straight heterosexual men that have dicks and like pussy, should change their gender on paper. So you can technically become a woman and then go and take all the benefits that women enjoy through, their minority status, or in the case of Black women, a double minority status. So basically all the little micro loans, all the every scholarship, every grant, every little thing that women benefit from, men go change the gender on paper and then go apply for all that shit. And if they try to say, wait, you can't do that, you're not a woman, how dare you? And then file a lawsuit against them for discrimination, and that it would force them to get rid of all that shit. He had a very compelling argument on how men can use crazy to fight crazy with crazy and beat the system within the system. He had a really compelling argument. This is where he went left. He said, oh, and you might as well just put on a dress while you're doing it. That you had a compelling, you had us in the first half. You almost got us. You almost got us. I think I'm not gonna own it, but I think somebody was calling you and Judge, even though I was on stage at the time. I'm not gonna stand the term educated flames. I think that was referring to you and Judge. Hopefully I didn't get none of that mud on my name, but I probably did. Fucking around with Zero, but just put the dress on, nigga. Just put on the dress, nigga. No. You tried to talk us down to a kilt. Nah. And accuse us of being we're just so obsessed with pussy. That's why we can't do it. Yeah. I own it. Yeah. Like pussy too much to put on a dress. But that was a funny show. But it is a compelling argument embedded in the midst of all of that. It really was. But I think it's fair to say Zero oversold the argument. He oversold that motherfucker. He said, the hood servitor says, women don't see it coming, but this trans thing is a direct threat to female. That's sort of what Zero is getting at, though. That is sort of what he's getting at. That was sort of what he was getting at. Corner Store Podcast in the building. There's Peace Bernard. Will there be an Obsidian visit anytime soon? If you must know, since you super chatted it. We actually haven't spoke, but I mean, I'm still a $25 Patreon of him. He's a Patreon of me, and I've actually supported him since then. So we just haven't spoke, but it ain't. I haven't said not one unflattering word about him, and he hasn't, as far as I know, he hasn't said not one unflattering word about me. So it's not like it's a beef. It's just a parting of ways. So, and that's that. That's that. But he ain't no Mixler talking shit about me, and I ain't over here talking shit about him, because I don't think we got any shit to talk about each other. I mean, it was a mutually beneficial thing that we had going on here, and it ended when it ended, and that's that. And everything's cool. And right on cue, when somebody asked that question, "Does the fuckery?" I haven't even read it. You should go to his show. I still listen on Mixler from time to time. I still drop in there. We be on the air at the same time sometimes, but I drop in. But just I drop in and listen. Yep. So you got it right, Zero. Sister George trying to make drama as per usual. Yeah, you know the deal. You know the deal. She gotta try to smuggle the fuckery. Gotta try to smuggle the fuckery in here. You know how she do. You know how that go. You know how she do. Yeah, Zero, OMG. I'm trying to... Why? Who are you? Why? Why are you trying to... And you're trying to mend fences that don't need to get mended. It ain't no... I said it ain't no beef. It ain't nothing to mend. But that's the fuckery right there. That's the fuckery. She say that I'm trying to mend fences so she could try to measure how unmended the fences are. That's what it is. That's what it is. She's trying to find out if there's some beef. She's trying to Scooby-Doo detective the shit and try to say, "Oh, I'm just trying to mend fences." She tried to when she threw out that you should go on this show. She's trying to see if I'm gonna say, "No, I'm not going on this show. I ain't never going on this show." I'm trying to mend fences. Well, these fences can't be mended because all she's doing is trying to poke and prod and see what she could pull out of it, even though I already said all that needed to be said. And somebody else got me to say it, not you. Somebody else who super chatted, but you've been trying to get me to say some shit about it from the start, and I haven't spoken a single word on it. And you've been you kept trying to drop something in there to get me to say something about it. But it's really not nothing to say. It's really not nothing to say, it ain't a thing. It ain't a beef. But to try to mend fences, fall back on that shit. You already when C Boogie and Fantastic had that beef, and I was sitting there like this when you tried to mend the fence. He's like, "So do I have your word that you won't be saying that the two of you won't be saying anything?" But I was like, the fuck is goddamn. The fuck hired you to be the manosphere facilitator? What do they call that? The arbitrator or the I forgot. I'm bad with some of these words. But anyway, fall back, Sister George. Fall back. I'm missing him being here. You guys had a good thing going. Yeah. All right. You just in here trying to cause some fuckery. Anyway, what's my topic? Let me take a sip of some water. What's my topic? But you're happy, Sister George. You would have did better to just lay in the cut and be quiet. Because somebody else asked me in a non-fuckery way while super chatting, and I addressed it. And then here you came in with the fuckery. anything more that I was going to say won't be said. Where's yeah, Black Wolf. All right. What's the topic today? I forgot what was the topic. Most women contribute financially to their relationships, yet only one group of women complain about it. This has been recently talked about a little more on the heels of that Madame Noir article where they polled or studied their readership and found out apparently that 60% of them either pay half the bills, either 60% of them expect. I hate when people do studies and they put in a word that I feel like it shouldn't be there. I hate that they put the word expect to pay half the bills or more. 60% of their women, their readership, expect to pay half the bills or more. What the fuck does that word expect mean? And I say that because it's one thing to say that 60% of the black men who subscribe to the Negro manosphere expect to get 4 cooked meals a day. 4 cooked meals per week. To get 4 home cooked meals per week from their significant other. It's one thing to say they expect that, but it is another thing that what they actually getting. So it's a confusing word put in there when they say expect. And I should have had it up. I should have had the study up. I got to stop doing my research and then stepping to the mic and just spitting it from the dome. I should have it up on the screen so y'all can see exactly what it says. I'm going to actually try to look that up without disrupting the flow of the show. Okay. Aha. Yep, I'm going to be able to look it up fast because it's already stuck in my Google. It's already stuck in my Google, so I should be able to look it up fast. All right. All righty then. Let's see. Damn, I'm singing the intro song. All right. Yeah, should be able to see that. And I'm going to scroll on down. Zero, if you looking, I think there's some clothing that your boy Romperius Jackson might want to wear. Right here. Are those capris? I'm sure if you wear rompers, he'll rock some capris. You should hook him up. That's your boy. But all right. See, right here in the headline, it says, why are 60% of black women splitting or paying a higher share of household bills? Down here at the bottom, if y'all could see that, it says 60% of 18 to 34-year-old Madame Noir readers expect to split or pay a greater share of the bills with their partner, at least occasionally. You see the wording of that, to where a lot of people reported it as if it was just ironclad, etched in stone. 60% of black women pay half or more of the bills. What this is essentially saying is that 60% of black women expect that at sometimes in the relationship that they're going to pay half the bills, or in some cases more, with their partner. Oh, damn, I can't highlight that. Occasionally. And this figure is 10% higher than the general population. So 50% of women, 50% of women expect, I'll make sure, oh, damn, yeah, I couldn't see that at all. Now that I come back here, I want to make sure, all right, let me make sure doing this as best as I possibly can. I want to make sure that y'all are actually seeing what I'm seeing. And I will shout out BGS, who said something along the lines of, this ain't no damn revelation. It's not. Because when you're talking about whether or not a woman expects, I mean, if 50% of women across the board expect that, and keep in mind, most women work. Most women are in the labor force. Most women are in the labor force. Most women work. All women contribute. Most women contribute financially to their relationship. That's sort of how it's set up. That's sort of how it's designed. Yes, there are situations, and yes, there are men who can pay 100% of the bills. When I was married, the last 3 years of the marriage, I paid 100% of the bills. You know, for most of the marriage, I think I paid more of them than her. I mean, we got married young. I was 19, so we weren't exactly splitting bills like she got her half, I got my half. But yeah, we both needed to work. But there was times when she wasn't working, and you know, we had to make some sacrifices and struggle a little bit. Or it was times when she wasn't working and we did okay. But then there were times when she was working, and you know, and we did better financially. I think when we were younger, well, at one point she started making more money per hour than me, but I worked more hours than her, so I made more money than her. And that was just the reality of the situation. So she was, you know, have she had like a 3-year spurt where she was working consistently, and might have a 2-year stint where she wasn't. That was just normal, you know. And that's what couples do, especially families, marriages with kids and all of that. So we're talking about normal shit here, especially between 18 and 34. Now, by the time I was in my late 20s, that was, you know, we got divorced when I think I was 31, or separated when I was 31. So, you know, late 20s, 28, 31, I was paying 100% of everything. But we talking from 18 to 28. If a couple live together, if a couple live together from 18 to 30, chances are that guy under 30 ain't in position to be pulling 100% of the bills. Chances are he's not. Well, according to this, a 40% chance, or nationwide with all women, a 50% chance. A 50% chance that he is. I'm not seeing a big deal there. I think I mentioned BGS who pointed it out, that it wasn't a big deal, that there was no revelations here. That when you got a situation where women are making up, I think, 51% of the workforce, what the hell are we expecting? What the hell are they in the labor force for? Now I got to figure out how to fix my damn screen, because I got everything all fucked up here. There it is. That's almost back right. And I got to do that there. All right, give me 1/2 half second. 1/2 second. 1/2 second. And I'm sorry if I missed super chats when I was screening. Well, I probably ain't missing nothing. Let's see. Yeah, I did. My man Osama Abdu came through the super chat. He says race aside, 30% of couples in the U.S. woman makes more than men. Yeah, shout out to feminism. You did it. Hey, shout out to feminism. They made it happen. We can assume that's a victory. Or can we not? Give me 1 second. Had to fix the old camera. Had to get up and walk around. And let's see where we at. And yeah, we're still in here. All right, cool. Our camera dropped down during that little moment when I was screen sharing. I meant to screen share a little more with that, but I might come back to that. But be that as it may, that's the nature of the game with this modern world that we live in. We're talking 50% of all women expect to pay half the bills or more than half the bills occasionally throughout the relationship. So that 10% increase that it is with Black women expecting to pay half or more than half of the bills occasionally throughout the relationship, give or take this and give or take that. Because I mentioned that time between 18 to 28, where there were moments where my ex-wife did end up having to pay, half or more than half through spurts in the marriage from 18 to 28. Of course she did occasionally. We both was young and figuring shit out, and I was doing blue collar work, and it was layoffs from time to time. I was on unemployment here and there. It was, so occasionally, yeah, that was normal if we're talking about people 18 to 34. Hopefully by your late 20s, you get into a position where that problem don't come up as much. And eventually by late 20s, I got to the point where that wouldn't be a problem anymore. Or I shouldn't even say it wouldn't be a problem. It wasn't a problem. Like, that's how things go. That's the way that the game is set up nowadays. Now, there are a few things that are problems that I do have to look at and address. There are a few things that are problems. I don't like when dudes get all beating their chests about 50-50. It's 50-50 over here, motherfucker. It's like I don't get the point of that, because I understand the reality of 50-50. I've said it before, and shout out to Kevin Samuels because he's been saying it too. The average white man makes $50,000 a year. That ain't enough to pay for a woman and 2-3 kids. It's not, unless you live in a really small town with really low cost of living. So most white women are working and contributing to their marriages financially. Hispanic men make less money on average than Black men. Their women are working and contributing to the marriage financially, or to the relationship financially. So why wouldn't we expect Black women to also be doing the same? We're talking about an American economy. Like, what? And other women, are not, talking about, well, if you pay half the bills, you get half the submission and all of that shit. They are contributing financially to their relationships, but they're not having discussion about, all the many reasons not to be compliant in a relationship, all the many reasons to not conduct yourself in a way that's conducive to a happy, flourishing, functioning relationship. And that's sort of the nature of the game and the belly of the beast with this whole thing with modern I really do need to fix that camera and in modern relationships. But Black Wolf Inc. in the building with another super chat. He says, "Hey, Captain, may I make a suggestion for sound effect? Ric Flair, woo! He-Man, I have the power." And Power Rangers is Morphin Time. I don't know where to work those in. I love a Ric Flair woo. It's Morphin Time. I don't know where to put. You have to let me know, where do you think It's Morphin Time is appropriate? Where would that appropriately fit in the show? I'm gonna need to know that one. That's some funny shit. The He-Man. No, I don't know about that, but Ric Flair woo, I can probably work that in. I'll be working in that Porky Pig. That's all, folks. I worked that in because of you. You suggested that one, and that one definitely worked when I got to get rid of somebody. Black Wolf Inc. came back in. Also, happy Power Rangers Day. Today is the day the pilot for Mighty Morphin premiered 27 years ago, baby. Damn, you good. You are damn good. I remember when that premiered. I was watching that shit. Like, that was my shit. I was all in on that. I remember when Power Rangers dropped. I remember the first episode. And I remember how the Black Ranger was black and the Yellow Ranger was Chinese. Key and Peele did a funny skit on that too. I was like, come on, man. Y'all just gonna make the Rangers be the colors of yeah, it was that shit was funny. Anyway. Yeah, we old out here. We should not know the date Power Rangers premiered. Yes, the fuck we should, Zero. Yes, the fuck we should. God damn it. We should know the date. But I'm assuming that he got an alert on his phone letting him know that that's the date, that today is the date that Power Rangers premiered. I'm assuming he got the notification on his phone. You know how, Google sometimes it popped up on his news feed on his phone. That's pretty peculiar that's what popped up, though. You can tell a lot about a person by what their phone, your phone know you better than anybody. And your phone knew you needed to know that this was the day that Power Rangers premiered. My phone didn't think that I needed to know that. I'm not going to tell y'all what my phone surmised that I did need to know. It's Morphin Time will be appropriate on the show when a woman says she will submit and be feminine for the right man. Shit, that's funny. Oh man. Goddamn. Y'all got me here talking about Power Rangers. I gotta fix that. Okay, we're just gonna work around this camera being at an angle. We're just gonna work around that for now. Oh man, y'all be too damn funny. But what was I talking about? Thank you for them super chats. Black Wolf and the Mac the Trucker. Thank y'all for those super chats. I appreciate it. Oh man. But no, I forgot where I was at. I was just talking about just the reality of the situation in America, this modernized, westernized, industrialized world, where that's just the reality of the situation. The amount of money it takes to live, for 4 people to live under one roof comfortably, the average person, male or female, does not make that. So when we're talking about average people in the middle, there will be a not necessarily a splitting of bills, because when I was married, it was never a situation like where I I had my I'm trying to find something. Nah, fuck it. It was never a situation where, I had my half of the mortgage and I like, okay, let's just say hypothetically the mortgage was $1,000. I got my 500. I set my 500 right there on the table. When you get your 500, put it in the envelope. I'm gonna go mail it off. It was never a situation like that, but it was a divvying up of the bills, understandable divvying up of the bills. I tried to knock out all the bigger ones, and she tried to knock out all the smaller ones. But sometimes we had to put our money together and figure out the shit to make the shit work. And a lot of times that was with me working a lot of hours. But the study was 18 to 34, which means there's a lot of people 18 to 27 in there, man, not making that much money from 18 to 27. That's why I feel like it was sort of a fallacious study that, late teens and early and mid 20 guys don't make that much money. And if a man and woman live together during that time, it's going to be a lot of splitting of bills. I guarantee from 26 to 34, the man typically paid more. And I know from 34 and up, the man typically paid more. So I felt like it was fallacious. And like, shout out to BGS, like I said, it was nothing new there, but it was mostly just, it was pointless. It was a pointless study that whatever narrative you want to run with, if you want to run with the narrative that niggas ain't shit, you can run with that. But if 50% of women nationwide are in the same situation where they expect to pay 50% or more of the bills occasionally throughout the course of the relationship from 18 to 34, how is that even saying anything? It was literally saying nothing, in my estimation. And it was describing the reality of the situation that feminists ultimately fought for. You fought for the right to work. You fought for the right to not get, to not have to be, at the mercy of just some regular average Joe worker bee. But what women have done with that is just, if they said that, oh, well, if this regular average Joe worker bee who I qualify for, because you don't qualify for a guy who's, higher up in the on the pay scale, you probably would be with that guy. So if this regular average Joe worker bee that I qualify for, if I'm not willing, if he's not able to do to pay, if he's not able to do what probably 10%, 15% of men can comfortably do with no little extra strain, if he's not willing to do what 10% of men mathematically, statistically, economically speaking, I'm not talking about somebody willing to do it or not willing to do it. Every man can't make $100,000. Economy, money, it just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It's going to be a bell curve. It's going to be, it doesn't work that way. So there will always be a top 10% that's going to out earn the bottom 90%. It will never be a flat rate. So salute Bernie. Unpopular statement. Men, especially black men, should not shack up. It rarely ever benefits the man. Try and buy doesn't work in that situation. I agree, and that's something I was going to get into too. I'm taking a long time getting into everything that I'm going to get into, but I'll go ahead and address this now because you said it. If a man shacks up with a woman who no doubt has a job, and she technically should be working and shouldn't quit her job if he hasn't married her or anything or whatever, he hasn't committed to her completely and truly 100% long term, she should keep a job of some sort. But if he busting his ass, killing himself to make sure that he's paying 100% of everything, but she's still working somewhere, she's not giving 100% of everything that the traditional woman should give, but she's getting everything from the traditional man while having her little money on the side that she's saving and or just fucking off going shopping. So he basically just busting his ass for her to be able to shop and occasionally cook and clean in the house, because you can't consistently cook and clean in the house if her ass is still working. So that's why the shacking up thing is a faulty concept as well. I was about to dig deep off into that later, but I just touched on it real fast right there. Summed it up real quick. I hope I didn't miss nobody's super chat. No, I didn't. And I got a new one coming through right here from my man Perfect Storm in the building. He says, Black women want to make money and not support themselves with it. That's one of the aspects of feminism that's kind of weird, that, you know, they fought for the right to be able to make money, but they still want to be taken care of by men. That's a weird thing. I feel like if they truly want to be taken care of by men, it would be no reason for them to go to college. Just stay at your mom and dad's house until a man shows up with resources in hand to take care of you. And if you guard your sexuality, or dare I even say in this modern day, virginity, yeah, men would show up to the door of your father and mother, or just your mother, knocking on the door. You know, there's an 18-year-old virgin in this house, I hear, you know. And if that was the cost of admission for pussy, shout out to Zero. If that was the cost of admission for pussy, you had to show up with resources and be willing and ready to take care of this woman to get a pussy that hasn't been all sprinkled out all through the street. Men would do it, but women don't want that. A whole generation of women rebelled against that, and a whole modern generation of women are going to college, something like 7 to 3 compared to men, to get educated so they can get a job, so they can make their money, so they can be free and independent and do what they want and fuck what they want and fuck what they don't, but they still want to be taken care of by a man. It is a weird thing going on here. But what they're really saying is that, and I said this before, unless it's really the perfect situation, like it was a guy on One Master Teacher, a chick that was on One Master Teacher, I don't remember her name. It wasn't the light-skinned Janelle Monáe chick. It was a more browner skinned one, or dark skinned one. She said, I will submit to a man and I will stay at home and do all that wifely stuff, but a man who makes $80,000, that's not enough. So she just said basically a top 15% of a man, 20% of a man is not enough. So basically what they're saying is they're going to work, they're going to make their own money, they're going to do what they want to do. If they do end up in a relationship, they're not going to give him full compliance. They're going to kind of be a bitch because they have the ability to be a bitch, because they can leave him and leave with their own money and still be fully functional. But unless he makes enough money to make it to where she does not have to, work. And that's going to vary from place to place. Some places, they may take 6 figures. Some places that may take 150,000. If you're talking about marriage and kids, Kevin Samuels threw out some astronomical numbers that I do believe he knows his shit. But he'd be talking about 300,000, and that just blows my mind, because I'm from a small town in Michigan where if you're making 300,000 out here, you're practically rich. So he'd be talking about that shit like it's damn near normal. I never lived in LA. I don't know. But yeah, so it's almost like they're saying that they're going to act like they're only going to be compliant in the, what I call that perfect situation. They'll be situationally compliant, but then again, are they really compliant? That's the reality of the situation on the ground. Silent Lamont in the building. He says, Bernard, I keep telling you, they fought for the right to have sex with who they want. To them. Having their own money allows them not to be beholden to a man in order to fulfill that. Yeah, no doubt. Leo Anthony in the building. This is why I like when men break down stats compared to women. Men analyze and dissect everything about the stat objectively down to the last letter. Yes. Thank you for that super chat, Leo Anthony. My man, new in the building. Submission is on a scale on Labor Day. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I don't know what y'all talking about, but dating music. Darth Celestius, you keep giving it to me. Thank you, boo. I don't know the context, but that's just how I see it. I just heard the dating music and you saying that to Darth Celestius, that he keeps giving it to you and you thank him for it. Anyway, Sister Joe, you damn near shouldn't post in here. I'm if I take it in context, I'm gonna pick it apart and tear you to shreds, or I'm gonna take it out of context, pick you apart and tear you to shreds. You just need not post here. Shit. I'm gonna leave that up there so everybody can keep reading it in the context that I did. Daddy music. That's you keep giving it to me. Thank you, boo. All right, Darth, my man. Giving it to her. Cool gent in the building this morning, Bernard. I highly recommend anyone to invest in gold and silver. The dollar will crash. It's best to stay ahead of the game. I'm getting into it. I'm late to the party on a lot of that shit, but I've been getting into it. I've been researching it. So yeah, you definitely on point. Definitely on point. Thank you for that super chat. Oh man, let me get out of this fuckery. But with all that said, from the man end, yes, we as men, I still think that we do. It's best to be in that position of power to the best of your ability. But by that position of power, I mean be in a position where it's your house, you paying 100% of the bills at your house before she got there. She come her ass in there, you just keep paying 100% of your bills, and she gonna do what the fuck you say when you say it. Within reason. I mean, when we say shit like that, they immediately in their head, they think they're gonna be tied up to the basement pole. They're gonna be tied up to the pole in the basement, being fed crumbs just to survive, and got to come up and cook and clean with a ball and chain that's the exact length of the kitchen. The chain is the whole diameter of the kitchen, so that's only that's what they think when they say she gonna do what I say. But really what we're talking about there is it ain't gonna be no bullshit. That's really all we're saying. That's all we're saying there is that if I'm paying 100% of the bills in my house before your ass got here, if you move in my house, I'm still going to be paying 100% of the bills, and it's going to be 100% my rules. Shout out to the Angry Man Standard. He laid out some real good stuff on that. And there's nothing wrong with a man being like that. But in this deregulated sexual marketplace, women do show up with jobs. They do show up wanting to fuck who they want and fuck who they don't, and it is what it is. And the woman will show up and cheat if the guy is doing other shit. A lot of women are fine. The reality is a lot of women are fine with it. Regardless of what they say to how they say it, a lot of women are fine with it. And in this deregulated sexual marketplace, there are men that have other forms of currency. Silent Lamont be talking about, his light skin and his good hair, how he got baby hair going all through his whole head, and some hazel green eyes. Not just, but that's a form of currency in this market that men didn't deregulate, or men didn't push for the deregulation. Men were happy, working. They get a job, they get a wife. Men was all right with that. Was only a small percentage of men who were the nomadic single men who went around and fucked all the, you know, the stragglers, so to speak, you know, the unmarried women. It was just a small percentage of men who really got down like that. And we could argue that it's a small percentage of men who get down like that now. It's just been deregulated to the point to where that small percentage of men, you know, probably got a little bit bigger and they running a little bit more of a monk. Well, maybe a lot more of a monk. And there's another percentage that do pair up and get married. And there's another percentage that get nothing at all. That's where it's been. Whereas before it was a wider, shout out to ARC, the Beta Male Revolution, when he said that prior to the sexual revolution, the gap between an alpha male, and I'm just going to use the terms, even though I have my problems with a lot of the terms sometimes, but the gap between an alpha male and a beta male wasn't as wide, but the gap between a good girl and a slut back then was very wide. After the sexual revolution, the gap between a good girl and a slut got really small, and the gap between a alpha male or select male and non-select male got really wide. You can clearly see it. You can clearly see it. And that's where we're at. And some men have other forms of currency in this market, and women are okay with that other form of currency because they benefit from that other form of currency. And a lot of them don't mind paying for that other form of currency. So they technically full of shit in a lot of what they say. Silent Lamont says it has been shown on too many occasions that even if you give her everything, it will still not be enough. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. That is a thing. And Melody came through right on cue, always come through showing the support. Thank you, Melody. I appreciate it. Dropping the super sticker. I appreciate that. And who else? I think that's it. And yeah, hit the like button. Niggas ain't shit. Falcon Black in the building. He says, Brother Curlin and Sister George, I be lit in the chest. Absolutely no offense. Meant in my jokes. No. Keep them coming. Let her have it. She deserves every little bit of it. Indigenous TV says, Shalom, Brother Bernard. Shout out, salute in Shalom. Indigenous TV. All right. Where was I at? So I talked about, the angry man standard. How, I'm still traditional in that sense that, a man should strive to be in that position where he can, where he can handle everything and call his shots. And that's that. He should strive to be in that position. However, the reality on the ground is most women will have to contribute financially in some way, shape, or form to most of the relationships that they will be in. And given that it didn't used to be like that, but then through movements made by women that women are not trying to tear down or change, that it's no longer like that, to where it's no longer in a place where they don't have to contribute. Now it's in a place where they more than likely do have to contribute, and they're not doing a whole lot to change the way that things are. So it goes back to one thing that I always say: they like it the way that it is. And seeing as it's the way that it is, and they like the way that it is, they shouldn't be using all of those stats to try to shame men and say that men aren't being men, when we're out here in a world with women who are competing to be men. And another thing that another woman said this, she said that no, women are better and we got our money and we do this and we're that. So men just have to be able to rise to the occasion. What that really meant, what that was really code talk for, is that I'm making my own money. If you want me to be compliant with you, you need to make your own money and replace my money. Going back to that woman that said $80,000 ain't enough for her to submit to a man. Many of them do feel that way and operate that way. But going back to that study, it was bogus. It was worded in the most bogus way possible. The most bogus way possible. I'm not even going to pull it back up, but I will read it again. That 60% of 18 to 34-year-old Madame Noir readers expect to split. That means at some point. Hold on. Let me do this real quick so y'all can at least see a bouncing circle. My camera cut off. I gotta get another AC. I know what I need. I need another AC adapter. I took my camera back and got a different camera, and now I gotta wait for another AC adapter to come in. But anyway, 60% of women 18 to 34, 18 to 27 men aren't making that much money. Point one. 60% of women 18 to 60% of 18 to 34-year-old Madame Noir readers expect, means at some point they expect to split or pay a greater share of bills with their partner, at least, emphasis on that, at least occasionally. For the rest of the general public, it is 10%. It's a 10% difference. It was 50% for the general public. Like, I'm looking at that like it's not a big deal. I'm looking at that like that's all normal. That's all par for the cause. That's all just the reality of life in America, where the average man makes a little under 50K. The average woman makes a little under 40K. The average man gets with the average woman. They're going, her 40K is occasionally going to have to, pitch in and help out. So we're talking about normal shit, but it's only with our women where they're complaining about the man being broke, the men not paying 100% of the bills, their men not doing this, their men not doing that. Where you can see the reality on the ground with all the data that all women are doing it. Even the women that make less money than, even the women that are with men that make less money than black men, they're not complaining. They're not online doing these studies, these articles. They don't got YouTube channels talking about the many reasons why they're not going to submit. They're not doing none of that shit. They understand reality. They understand, especially if they're an average woman, they're going to get with it. I said this like a year ago. An average woman, you're going to get with an average man who makes average money, lives in an average house. You should be able to walk your average ass in that average house. You just try to make them an above average sandwich every now and then. You just call it a day. Without all this back and forth rigmarole and bullshit. But those women who are in the market and are able to compete for those men that make a lot of money, who can pay 100% of the bills and no problem without strain or sacrifice, because the guy who makes 50K a year in a small town can pay 100% of the bills. It'll take some sacrifice. It'll take some budgeting, some planning. It'll take, it'll be less shopping. It won't be a vacation or two per year, But that's what we're talking about. And that's the reality on the ground. That's the reality of the situation. So to even talk about this without acknowledging the reality of the economics of the country that you live in is just goofy. It's just goofy. And all it amounts to is when black women have their websites, their Facebook pages, their podcasts, their YouTube channels, their books, all of that shit that they got. All they're essentially doing is just trying to stockpile a list that essentially amounts to them playing the game or just reeling off the list of 101 reasons to continue to treat black men like shit. That's essentially what they're doing. That's all they're doing. That's all that's happening here. 101 reasons to not be compliant. 101 reasons to continue to conduct ourselves in a way that's not conducive for a healthy, functioning, flourishing relationship. And let me do something else real quick with this camera. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get all this together. Well, it's probably gonna take a while before I get everything together like I need it. For the simple fact that the coronavirus, everything takes forever and 8 days to make it to your house. So it'll be a minute before I get exactly what I need, so I won't have to keep getting up to reset the camera. But it is what it is. So yeah, basically, like I was saying, all those websites, Facebook pages, YouTube channels, all of that, basically 101 reasons to continue to treat black men the way that we treat them, 101 reasons not to be compliant, 101 reasons to conduct ourselves in a way that's not conducive for a healthy, functioning, flourishing relationship. So that begs the question. When we talk about a lack of families in the black community, we're talking about kids not in the home with the father. When we talk about all of that, who's at fault? Yeah, the man plays some responsibility, but when they're talking about, all their 101 reasons to act in a way that's going to cause the relationship to fail, and when the relationship fails and they separate, and the woman by default, by law, has the kids or gets the kids, whether it's a marriage or whether they were just in a relationship, who's at fault? It's not the man. I'm trying to break down and change the language here. It's not the man leaving the home, because I hate that shit. I said it before. I'm gonna keep saying it again. I hate that concept. There's no fathers in the home, as if wherever the woman lay her hat is the home. No, it was a relationship, and the relationship failed. And all the black female media is showing 101 reasons why we shouldn't be compliant, why we shouldn't be committed, why we shouldn't act in a way that's conducive to a functioning, flourishing, healthy relationship. They're giving all the 101 reasons as to why they shouldn't do that. Giving all the reasons why. All the great many reasons why they should act in a way that's going to make any man with a half of a backbone not want to be with her ass. And then the relationship ultimately ends up failing. And then black men are over here, black women are over there with the kids. If the guy fucked up and got a woman pregnant, well, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that because, I was married, and obviously I got my ex-wife pregnant, and obviously, there was a custody battle. But you niggas that didn't get married and just got some chick pregnant, and that's a whole other thing. So yeah, that part is on. Yeah. Gotta keep that to a minimum. It's gonna happen, but that gotta be kept to a minimum. But you do gotta look at the big picture on that shit. Darth Slothy is in the building. He says it's Friday, and I got the day off. Oh shit! Shout out to this rack of ribs I'm about to cook. Enjoy your weekend, Chat and Bernard. Thanks, I appreciate that. The data bears witness, according to the information recorded since 1980s, black women in America, by and large, on average, are average by every metric. In fact, they are falling behind other women. Yeah. I mean, I've talked about that, how the most educated thing I mean I've talked about that. I went over that, but all right. I'm about to drop the link. I've rambled for over an hour. I could drop the link. I'm actually hungry than a motherfucker right now for some reason. Actually very hungry right now. Try to keep the mic up high. I don't need to know all this, but I try to keep the mic up high so I won't be like this, leaned over on the desk talking. All right. Oh, wait, hold on. I already dropped the link. I have to scratch my eye. Link is in the chat. I ain't got a damn thing. I'm hungry as hell and ain't got nothing but a little swallow of water. Hungry and thirsty, ain't got but a swallow of water. Well, swallow it and shut the fuck up. If you don't know where that came from, your black card is revoked. I'm using the power invested in me by Joe Biden to take away your blackness. If you don't know where that line came from, well, swallow it and shut the fuck up. If you don't know where that came from, by the power invested in me by Joe Biden, I take away your blackness. Your blackness have been stripped away. All right. I ain't shit. We got
Bernard.
Rain in the building.
One question to ask, bro.
I can't hear you yet.
Oh, you can't hear me yet? Oh, hold on, let me see if my mic's working. Oh, do you hear me? You sure?
Hold on. I'm about to break my shit. Wait a minute. Wait. Easy. Got it.
Oh, you getting
people know it came from Harlem Nights.
Yes.
Good on you. Good on you.
Hear me now? You got microphone. Okay.
I can hear you now.
Is that your first time reading that article? I've been hearing about the article flow around the net this week. The Madame Noir.
Yeah. Everybody did some. Yeah, I think O'Shea did some content on it on like the 18th of this month, not 20th or something. He did about a week ago. He did some content.
My thing about the dudes that's 18 to eventually 30 that either paying a good portion of the bills or paying like what they call the 50-50 nonsense, right? I look at most of these boys that's raised by one parent, on the average, say, what are you doing to your sons, from that time of their development up to 18? Because to find that they only range from 18 to 34, that's 15 years? Or is like, let me see, 15. So what are they doing? Because this 50-50 thing, this is a new phenomenon, bro. I've been hearing this only on YouTube for last year.
Hold on, wait, time out.
Yeah.
If we're talking, okay, once you get to the point where, after say 27, 28, I think you should be in a place where you're making enough to where you can afford to pay, most of the or all the bills by that time. But
or
when
25.
I mean, yeah, but still, I mean, sometimes, it varies. Sometimes you just really getting started at about 25, but I mean, either way.
Wait,
if they started out, hold on. I think I know where you're going to go. So just hold on. I'm gonna go to you. We talking 18-year-olds. We talking 18 to 25. Like they're not making that much money, and in a situation where somebody from 18 to 27, especially just living with a chick. I mean. I wouldn't beat that guy over the head, say he need to be paying 100% of the bills with a chick he living with. Okay. And they both young and either late teens, early, or just making it to the mid 20s. But if y'all seriously going somewhere and seriously doing something and planning a future together, and she about to pop out your babies and y'all gonna be married and all of that, then yeah, obviously by the time you start making it into your late 20s to early 30s, you're gonna be in position by then to naturally do it anyway for a woman who popping out your babies.
And you'll be a goddamn fool to do it.
What, to get married and take care of a woman that's having your baby?
Pay the 50. I mean, to pay 100% of the bills. Hell yeah, you'll be a goddamn fool.
For a
But you
woman
see,
who's having your babies?
Yeah, to pay all the bills and not do shit. You a goddamn fool.
well,
If she's having babies.
Okay,
Let's just
nigga.
say,
And I'm
let's
taking
just-
this shit, nigga. Her baby's
Okay.
just taking longer to come out. That don't mean shit.
well,
It really
Come on.
it doesn't, because most people in the universe, women are having babies, and then
And-
she's back out there
And
fucking
still
helping
contributing.
milk the fucking
Okay,
cows.
Okay, fuck
I mean,
fuck,
only in
no.
America, where women are the most protected, most privileged human
Right.
beings to have ever existed in the fucking universe, and they're still fucking complaining. Seriously, like, it's like people haven't been any fucking where to see how people are normal. You gonna have to work.
Right.
Nigga, you live in the real fucking world. This bullshit about 50-50. See, the major malfunction, brother,
Gaslighting like a
Bernard
motherfucker.
Pendergrass, is letting her talk, because you're picking up her fucking talking point. Now you arguing 50-50. Niggas ain't said shit about 50-50.
Time out.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you were listening to my argument, I was saying that's just the natural state of reality in a country with the setup economically the way ours are. Most
Yo.
men ain't gonna even be making enough.
Yo,
to
Bernard,
be-
can we
to be
break down
working
that?
But that's not
no,
even-
no. Give me a second, Bernard.
Well, hold on, brother. I got cut off. Can
Okay.
I get on my
Go
little
ahead.
diatribe?
Go ahead, Silent.
Because this is important.
All right, so I'm saying that to say is most men pay more than, like, when you were describing how your arrangement was, when you were like, yeah, the majority of the time, I paid most of the big things, and then the majority, she paid the small things, but sometimes we had to fucking struggle and make shit happen, as fucking real grown-ups have to do, right?
Exactly. So that's why I don't understand what's the pushback. I don't understand.
I'm not yelling at you. No, I'm not fighting you, Bernard. That's
okay.
I'm saying this notion that it's niggas that just don't want to pay. No,
Right.
The problem is the women don't want to pay any fucking thing,
They're lazy.
right? They don't want to pay anything. They gaslight you and say 50-50, because reality is most men are in relationships are like Bernard. Okay, when you go out to dinner, the man is paying. When he goes to the movies, he's paying for the fucking tickets. When he, when he go to the gas station, he's the one getting out the car, paying for the fucking gas, pumping the gas while she's sitting in the car on the phone. Where in this fucking universe are women just doing all of this shit? Because I don't fucking see that universe when I look out into the world. I see it's the men doing all the heavy lifting. He's doing 90% while she's bitching about her 10% load that she has to carry.
Yeah. Yo, can I jump in here right quick, please?
Yeah,
I want to break
and
down.
I do hold on, and real quick, and I do want to point out that when I was married, my ex-wife, after she had the kid, I mean, for like the last 4.5 months or whatever, but like she worked at the beginning of the pregnancy, like halfway through the pregnancy, she stopped working, and then for one of the kids, she didn't work for a good little while, but for other one, I know definitely for the other one, she wait, damn, hold on, somebody got, I think that's Archer.
My bad,
One of
bro.
them, she took a few months off, and then ended up, going back to work. So
They got a word. They got a word for that.
I-
It's called maternity leave. They got a word and they got a fucking meaning for it, because every group of women fucking do it. Fucking
I know.
lazy bitches. Like, that's the reason why they got a word for it. And when you look at this economic situation of America, let's get one thing clear. 46% of Americans make less than $30,000 a year. 72% of Americans individually make less than $50,000 a year. Hispanic men make less money than black men, but
Yeah.
Hispanic households have more money than black households. You
'Cause
know
it's
how the
two people
fuck
in it.
that works?
It's
Because
two
they
people
work
in
with
it.
a fucking unit. The woman's not sitting there saying, I shouldn't have to work. The woman is not fantasizing this life Miss Ann had in the 1920s and thinking she should have that life in the 2020. Like, other groups of women understand economics, they live in reality, and they're not delusional. And they don't have this safety net of society where nobody's gonna come and save their ass if they fuck up. Black women, you only get saved because by saving you, they destroy your man. It is fucking warfare. They're using you as a fucking pawn, and you're too stupid, you're too prideful, and you got too much of an ego and too much fucking testosterone to see the shit, see the shit. Most Americans don't do that because it's not it's not financially possible in America. We're talking about 50K. 50K is $25 an hour. How many Americans you really know make $25 an hour? Go to Indeed right now and see how many of those jobs that are posted up there are $25 an hour jobs.
Oh
That's
no,
just
in the small town that I live in, very, very few.
Exactly.
Very few.
And they're delusional. They're thinking all white men are up here making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and the white women are just sitting at home getting manicures and pedicures and watching, I don't know what the fuck white women watch, but watching TV. Like, that's not the way life is. Everybody's working because everybody else's group of men are making exactly the same as yours. If you want to really break it down, the average white man in his mid-40s makes, and this is by region, cost of living not included, that makes $50,000.
Those are my talking points.
The average.
I'm the one that popularized those talking points, and now everybody's saying it, that the average white man making 10K more. So if y'all talking about we ain't making enough, we ain't making enough for y'all to act normal. Are y'all telling if every black man got a $10,000 raise a day, that all of a sudden y'all would turn
act different,
sweet little submissive little
fuck out of here
Disney princesses? No, those are my talk. Even Kevin Samuels is gut punching them chicks with those talking points. Yeah,
like it's not even a shit.
I'm with
now.
you.
I want you to notice, Chaos. I ain't on your ass as you talking.
But they don't understand economics, and that's basically what it comes down to with black women. Every single one of them watch the same TV shows, and they want that life. They want the Love and Hip Hop Tyler Perry life. Whatever those TV shows perceive as the life black women.
And ain't like Silent ain't been telling y'all that for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
they want to be basketball wives.
Yes.
They want to be sugar babies, and that be relationships.
I'm out.
Haven't you been listening?
Oh yeah, no, we got you, Silent. We got you. Yeah,
this shit is not difficult. They don't want to do shit. Yeah. Pitching it as they don't want to pay 50-50 when you already paying 80-20.
Okay, well, let's explain that when you say 50-50, okay, so are you literally, well, you probably would be because you're probably not looking at it in the context of a marriage. I explained this. When I was married and we both were working and we both was paying bills, we were working as a unit, it was never a situation where I had let's just say hypothetically, if the rent was $1,000, I got my $5, you got your $5, well, I'm going to leave my $5 right here in the envelope so you can put yours in it, I'm going to mail it off. It was never a situation like that. So
that don't exist, my dude. I don't know what that.
What I'm saying is that men in general, like, we just do what we need to do, and we know that a job has to be done, a family has to be taken care of, and we're like, okay, let's do this and this. She's the one sitting back there with her arms folded. Well, I got to, like, bitch, fuck.
Yeah. So basically, it's going to be two people working as a unit in most cases nowadays. Typically, the man is going to, somebody pointed out that with women, I think 35% of women make more than the man that they in a relationship with or something like that. So even in that situation, we're talking nearly 70% or 65% of men making more than the woman. And typically in most situations, the man is going to work and do what need to be done, but they are working as a unit. And so, yeah, their money is going to be used together to get to accomplish whatever goal. But in the midst of using that together like that, I don't think asking for basic compliance shouldn't be that much of a
Bernard, let me point this out right quick.
That's what their counter arguments is.
Well, Bernard, you got to understand in this society that a lot of women are not really groomed to really respect a man, period. So regardless of what he brings to the table is irrelevant.
Yeah, that's true. But
if that's a serious case, because if you look at, if a man makes more than them, they're going to have an issue because the authority figures say, I'm not looking or talking to you because I look to you as a boy, not a man. That's the thinking on a typical woman. You get me? That's why you see the lip on the average.
Black women have this thing where they can do bad all themselves, and it comes down to them not understanding economics. Yes, you may make more than me. You may make 40,000, and I only make 30,000. But together, that's 70,000. Bitch, you can do bad all by yourself. Well, by yourself, you're making 30,000 less.
But
You're
listen,
doing really
brother.
bad. That's why black households make less money than everybody else, but black men don't, because black women just don't understand fucking economics.
But that's the problem. No, they do understand. That's the Jedi mind trick. They think they need you niggas to think they don't understand so they don't have to do shit. I keep telling you I'm fluent in bitchanese, man. See, the problem is you niggas are logical and you keep trying to fucking wire this shit through a logical brain. Okay? You cannot. That's not what she's saying, man. What basically what she's saying is she wants to be a hoe and she also wants to be a wife. But also while she's a wife, she still wants to be able to fuck who she wants to. And she doesn't want you to say shit about it. And she wants you to be a masculine man while also bowing down to her. She wants all of that. I know it sounds crazy because it is, but that don't mean that's not what they want. And now you as a man are nigga dancing, trying to figure out, well, she said that she wanted 50-50, but she really, well, I don't want to. They want to do everything. They want everything for nothing.
Right.
That's what they fucking want.
Facts.
Well, how much shit do you have to see? How many fucking Dr. Dre's do you have to fucking see to where this argument is bullshit? These women are married to the most masculine, athletic, good shape, decent looking, rich, famous motherfuckers, and they're leaving them every 6 fucking seconds. At the same time, telling you they need a high value man. They want a high value man to make it easier to fucking rob you.
Lazy.
I mean, you created the manosphere because you knew this shit. And then we jump in the fucking nigga machine 1.21 nigawatts later, and we forget all of this shit. What the fuck?
You said 1.21.
How much fucking shit you gotta see?
You said 1.21 nigawatts later.
Damn it. 5 to fucking Caprice. Up to 88 miles an hour. We're going back to BFF. Like, what the fuck?
Oh,
you got 40-year-old women calling fucking this dude's show, trying to figure out how to hustle a rich sucker. That's why. The fuck? When I told you when I told you there's gonna be a lot of homeless, attractive black women in Obsidian, what do you mean? Where do you fucking think we're headed? Where do you fuck do you think these women are calling? I keep telling you niggas, they see the writing on the wall. It's over, nigga. They are fucking hanging on to a raft, nigga. They need that, bro.
To Kevin Samuels' credit, when those chicks call in, he do let them know they don't qualify. He do let them know. I'd have a problem with him if he was selling them a dream, but he tell those.
Here's the thing.
Man,
here's the thing.
Send him a letter or email.
But here's the thing. You still conditioning women to think you basically still having everybody chasing a lottery ticket. You think when they leave Kevin's show, they're like, oh, okay, I'm psychotic. I shouldn't expect that. They're gonna leave off of his show and still treat regular ass niggas like shit because they over fucking analyze and have expectations of what they bring to the table. I told you niggas before, you got a bunch of 3s and fucking 4s who put on fucking makeup and the Crayola people to become false 7s and 8s, so they think they qualify for 8 and 9 men, looking down on men who are 5s and 6 who are actually better than them. And you're negotiating with this shit.
Preach.
Nigga, you already lost.
RBR Network for Women.
Hey, I got a closing to go to. Bernard.
Peace,
hey, man. Get it, bro. Hey, everybody. I want y'all to give it up for Barry. Barry Bradley.
Hey, RBR, look behind you. It's Putin. It's Putin. Right
hey, nigga, I had to get you back for that good hair joke, nigga.
Yeah, you be the one bragging about your little curly hair and your hazel green eyes, nigga.
Just look into my eyes, bitches. I'm like the what was that fucking what was the Eddie Murphy was a vampire, the nigga in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Goddamn. My dick.
Oh shit! RBR Network. He says, "Don't let these white manospheres, don't let these white manospheres dictate our relationships. Marry who you love and build together." I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, RBR. Nobody ever does.
Nobody
right,
ever
grown,
does.
grown man business in the building. He says black women want to I think you mean hold in peace. They want the benefits of having a man without actually having a man. Salute, brother. Hashtag men first. Men first. Shout out to grown man business. Grown man business. Let's see who else we got in here. Shout out to Silent for speaking the truth. Shout out. Let's see. Shout out and also salute to I'm struggling here. Big game Orenthal James in the building. Keith spitting facts.
Mm-hmm.
And who else we got in here? How about Dinks? Dual income, no kids. Kevin Sammy said that the other night. I think Dinks, dual income, no kids. Some people do that. Married or not, are able to build quicker than anyone else when they share expenses, i.e., housing and food. That's good shit. That's true.
Another thing.
That's true. Hold on, real quick. My man David Johnson came through the super chat. He says these women are having problems with productive men and counterproductive men, pookies and lames, rich men and poor men, good men and bad men. So who's the real problem and common denominator? Thank you for
Short man or tall man, small man or large man.
Yeah.
But it goes back. Keith.
Thanks for the super chat, fellas. Thanks, I appreciate it. Go ahead.
One more question I gotta ask.
Hold on, well, Keith just left the panel. Hold your thought. We got to get Royce J in here. He ain't said nothing. So go ahead, Royce.
What's
you got
up,
the floor.
gentlemen?
What up?
What's up, gentlemen? What's up, Bernard? Peace to everybody on the panel. How's everybody doing today?
I know. I'm good.
Doing good, brother. Go ahead. You got the flow.
That's good. All right. On my channel, I did a video on this, the myth of Miss Ann. It's one of my more recent videos. I think I might have done it last week, but I talked about the whole topic that you're talking about, Bernard, and I explained that, like Kevin Samuels has pointed out, 76% of white women work outside the home. And so this stand type thing where you're the stay at home with this money to support a household and everything, that's a myth. Most white women work.
They're out here grinding. A generation of them
just
literally
like everybody else.
A generation of them literally fought to not have to stay at home. So yeah, you're right. It's a myth. Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I pointed that out in the video as well. That was the basis of the whole women's suffrage movement, so they can get out and they can earn the same amount of money that their men made. And really, the point of women's rights was so that white women could take their place. So this Miss Ann fantasy that a lot of these women have in their heads, it's a fantasy for white women too, because they're out here working. You see them as from everything from being cashiers at 7-Eleven to working in corporate companies and not-for-profit organizations. So I don't get this whole Miss Ann myth. And somebody was saying, I guess it was one of the super chats was saying that that these women are having problems with the Pookies and with the with the Melvins, and it's true. They're the common denominator, and it's because these bitches are crazy. You're basically talking about women who have been programmed to be schizophrenics, and they don't realize that men are back listening to them and
you're Borgin. Sound. I don't know if you gotta wiggle your cord like you used to do. People used to try to cheat on the Xbox. Go ahead, Chaos. I'll pass it to you.
My question in that same article: are these people from 1834 living beyond their means? Did it mention that in the article?
I think that would be a fair question if they would have started at from 27 to 34.
Mm-hmm.
Once you throw in late teens and early 20s, you're going to skew whatever numbers that's there.
So this is my issue with a lot of articles that people take literally seriously. Besides looking at black demographics and then we compare numbers, that this was put here just like any agenda to say that, you know, you should not act right because the average man, black man you deal with, regardless of doing good or bad from that age range, is broke. They don't deserve nothing. They should not expect nothing.
Well, it's gaslighting us. It's basically saying
because
we're not doing what other groups are
because
doing.
I remember this same talk during the sisters panel, you know what I'm talking about, on Wednesday. And I sitting asked this question, and the women just brought that up because it sounds trendy and they want to focus on something else. So it seemed to me they want to talk about this and say, okay, the article itself is not being accurate because now you have to put a lot of factors going through that 15 or 16-year period. We don't do that. We just sit there and say, this is women's going to split half the bills, and that's what it is. And this dude's not doing nothing at all. And I'm saying that doesn't make fucking sense. Because as a young boy, 18 to whatever, you have to be somewhat productive. Now, if you've been raised by one parent and she has trained to be a newback, then yeah, you're not gonna be productive. That's just
they said at 18 you have to be productive.
No, you have to be doing something. Like
you gotta be doing something, but you
I mean, I want to be productive. Okay.
You shouldn't be taking care of a chick at 18.
Right.
That part is off there. That's where I'm absolutely take as hard of a stance as Keith and Archer on that. Now, I do believe that, you know, when it get to the point to where you're older and you got a family, that burden and responsibility of making sure that shit runs right financially, that's more on you than her. That's just where I'm at. That's just how.
But no, let's keep it honest
on that. However, it is common that in most relationships the woman will have to work, but if she is popping out babies, she will be taking time off work, and it's not a bad thing for the mom to be at home with the kids. Granted, she's a good mom and good nurturer and know how to take care of kids. It's not a bad thing for her to be home with the kids. That's actually, you know, can be a very functional thing. So in that sense, I am traditional, but 18 to 25, I don't even.
But my thing
I don't
is,
even know why they even include it in the study.
My thing is this, Bernard.
That's more than half of the people in the study. But go ahead.
Okay. Besides that, it also talks about, are these men marrying these chicks after late 20s, going 30s? In that same piece,
they didn't say nothing about marriage, so they was.
There you go. So right there, that shit I shouldn't look at. That's like garbage. The whole article is garbage. It's not giving up all these other factors. You get me?
Yeah.
So right there, to be honest with you, when people talk about, I would say I'm not going to even waste my time looking at, because I got, as a man, critically thinking, I got to look at every aspect during the development from 18 through 34. And if it's not even talking about that aspect in the article, that tells me you, to the women, should know this should be a red flag that y'all women are not seeking no marriage after that period. Now, you're right. Maybe the 18-year-olds should not be thinking about marriage at this climate, in this environment now, because of the economic situation. All right, I get you that. But if you're not talking about marriage after the first 10 to 13 years, if they're together and stuff, then that's a red flag. Madam Washington said, if you want to really build something, you gotta be married. If you're not even putting marriage in that piece, that same data, I question that shit. This is me. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying. That's why I had to ask that question.
Well, the only part of it that I got a question where, you know, it wasn't talking about marriage. Good, now we got to definitely explore that. Okay, 27-year-olds, man and woman, living together. Mm-hmm. They're not married.
Yeah. That
ain't his wife. Should he? I mean, yeah, they live together, but it ain't his wife. You know,
it's not his wife.
Should he really be paying 100% of everything? Like,
why that might be another thing.
That is a fair thing to put on the table. That's why when I say that's why I like to talk about, you know, if it's an actual family, are y'all together? The long-term goals all on point. She's having your babies, and y'all got long-term aspirations and all of that. Then that's a situation where, man, you know, do gotta, you know, do some taking care of a woman. That's the only
Yeah,
That's
he's
the
going.
only
He's
area
going
where
to.
it's absolutely 100%. You know,
he's going to
if,
provide
if
something.
hold
He's
on
gonna
real
have to
quick, yeah, real
conduct-
quick. If you're talking, especially if we just talking about,
Mhm.
you know, you're talking if y'all just boyfriend and girlfriend, then how does that work? You know, where your boyfriend and girlfriend, and ain't exactly no kids involved. He's about to pay 100% of the bills, but she more than likely works because most women work. So that means she's just going to be working, stacking her paper, saving up her money, or buying a bunch of Gucci bags and red bottoms while he's working just to pay all the bills, just to take care of, just to basically take care of her and de facto fund her lifestyle until she leaves him. That's the situation. That's why. That's why when you're talking about, that's why to not include marriage in there, that is problematic because you know they ain't talking about a marriage.
So it seemed to me in this climate, Man Noir, if I could be right or wrong, the same article piece or just the organization, they're not advocating for marriage amongst Black people. I could be wrong, but if you're not even including that, and this is supposed to be catered to Black people, if that what their whole organization is built on, and that's their audience, that's a questionable type of website. You know,
that's interesting.
You know
that's
what?
interesting.
You know what? This whole 50-50 thing. On my channel as well. A lot of guys don't really understand what 50-50 means. 50-50 is her basically her bitch fee. It's so basically anything that she can't do or don't know how to do, she's putting up that money so she can say, I ain't doing that. You know, basically. And also when you're talking about a 50-50 woman, basically she's like you say, she's either buying Gucci bags and stuff like that, or she's saving up enough money so she can have a parachute when she decides she don't want to be bothered with whatever she don't want to be bothered with. So my thing is 50, if you're gonna be with her, it's got to be 100%. She got to be all in. If she ain't all in, then she ain't for you.
Right on, right on. Shit. What was I looking? I saw something in the chat that was interesting. I can't even find it now. Shit. Saw something in the chat. I can't find it. But yeah, no, it's interesting. It's interesting. They didn't that was a good catch, Chaos. That was a good catch. I gotta give you that one. They didn't point out marriage. The first time I looked at that popped in my head. They wouldn't talk about marriage, so they was just talking about shacking up. They're just talking about two people just living together, especially if ain't no kids involved. Yeah, I can't say that. Other than if a man feel that that's what he got to do to make sure he maintaining control in the situation. My house, I pay the bills in my house. You come in here, you gonna march, walk, and act the way that I say you got to act in my house. Otherwise, you're gone. I understand a dude doing it out of leverage like that. That makes sense. That makes sense. But like I pointed out in my opening diatribe, there's a lot in this deregulated market that women want. They may talk like they don't want it. It's men who pay with other forms of currency, and they like that. So that's a factor that you got to average in the equation too, where they try to make it seem like them, having to pay bills is a problem. You know, I hated the Pookie and Ray Ray versus Educated lame debate just off the title of it, but some good things came out of it because when we were talking about a guy, who got a good education and make good money, but may not be as physically appealing, we saw women give a damn near violent reaction to, oh no, hell no, you niggas don't get if you don't get my pussy wet, it's a non-starter. So we got to see where they confess to exactly where their mind was at. That there's other factors that contribute to whether or not they really want to be with a dude that ain't got nothing to do with him paying bills. But when they have to talk about paying bills, they talk about it like they victims of underperforming men, right. But they put a higher premium on other shit than the man's actual performance. They want a man to have all that other shit and that performance in terms of paying bills. But every woman don't necessarily qualify for that. What's up, Naima? Yeah, right there. See, I can't even see shit. What's up? Go ahead. Somebody was trying to jump in here. I saw something in the chat. I just fucking. I can't. I got to get a bigger screen. Anyway, go ahead. Whoever else was trying to jump in here.
Oh yeah. Well, that's totally true. Everything you were saying was totally true, because you look at it, they're having babies by broke asses. So you can't turn around and tell me that for a man to be with you, he's got to be able to pay all the bills when you had a baby by Slim Sauce. I'm not even trying to hear that shit. But this is the mind game that they play, and this is why social media has been such a powerful tool, because you can see what they say in real time. You can see how they think in real time. You can see the game in real time. Now, they went from saying, women only make 70 cents to every dollar a man makes, to saying that, I'm a high income earner and I can't find a man to match my income. Really, bitch, which is it? Which is it, bitch? So I love social media because it makes them tell on themselves.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it been lots of confessions.
Well, I mean, my problem with it is my problem is really with the men, not so much with the women, that we continue to allow these women to gaslight us with their narratives, like to make us seem like there's some type of problem with what we're doing as Black men, as if we live in some vacuum outside the rest of the American economy.
Good point. I like the way you worded that. I'm still in that one, Archer.
Hey, Archer, say that again. I missed that.
Yeah.
Say that question one more time. Say it again.
No, I was just saying that they gaslight the shit out of us. Like, they gaslight Black men, make us seem like every other group of men are doing something. Like, they leave out a lot of information. Like, Black men live in some like vacuum. Like, we're outside of America as far as it comes to economics. Like, Corona didn't affect us. No economic situations that happen in America affects us. We're supposed to operate separate from the American economy. So like the average man in America makes around $40K, but we're supposed to somehow make enough to provide for the whole family, which in America, to provide for a household of 4 is $70,000. So we're supposed to make all that by ourselves, even though as family, as a whole unit, most races aren't making that together. So, like, they're gaslighting the shit out of us. They're pushing a narrative to us as if we're not doing something other groups of men are doing, while leaving out a whole bunch of information on how other groups of men are getting it done with the participation of their whole family unit.
Yes. The funny thing about that is I work in an area where there's a lot of illegal Mexican immigrants, and you always see that the little guy with the paletera cart pushing it, and you see a lot of times you see his woman with him, or you see these guys working in these warehouses for $15-17 an hour, and they have an intact family at home, and they ain't making about maybe $32,000 a year, and but yet and still they have an intact family. So I'm not trying to hear all of that. Well, you gotta be making, the whatever claptrap shit they be talking about. It's like it's bullshit, because if these immigrants can come over facing certain death to get to this country to make $15-16 an hour, what is your problem?
But we act like
what is your problem?
We're acting like it's just the immigrants, as if white men aren't working at these same jobs too. I mean,
exactly.
I'm working in a warehouse, and there's just as many white men as there are Hispanics and Black people, and we all make the same wage.
No, when I was married, I talked about when I was married, and how it was times when I was paying, all the bills, and sometimes when she worked, and we, put our money together to make it work. Most of that time I was doing entry-level blue-collar work. I got married young at 19. I didn't have no skills. So it was entry-level blue-collar work. So who you think I was working with? A bunch of white men showing up in steel toe boots to make they, some of them, they was showing up in steel toe boots to make they little 40, 45K just like me,
Right.
So that's how it is. That's how the world works. But my man Pablo Frescobar in the building. What's going on, man?
What's
What's
good,
going
Pablo?
on, Bernard?
What's happening?
So look, man, I'm your new self-appointed production assistant.
Ha.
So we're gonna have to get you a smoking jacket, a pair of silk pajamas, and a pipe.
And
Man,
a pair of red bottoms that he can put on the table.
So
I don't smoke, but man, I said this: a cigar or pipe would really just kill the look right now. But I ain't a smoker. I ain't about to. I don't wanna,
yeah. We just want to set the mood, set the atmosphere, because in these YouTube streets, you're becoming the Teddy Pendergrass of the manosphere.
Oh shit!
I mean, the chicks all in the chat. Oh, you're so handsome.
I can't even see it though. I can't even see it.
They in there, bro. They in there. They popping off, man. So we gotta complete your look. See, because Kevin's got the suits and all of that, but for you, we going for a different ambiance. You understand what I'm saying? We gotta because you're on in the morning. We gotta relax it, but we gotta make it silky. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna get a Hugh Hefner robe on y'all.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, to the point the brothers have already been making, man. Black men have, if you consider where we came from, right, in this country, we have made huge strides, huge advancements. They had to commit atrocities unspeakable in order to try to stop us. If you think about it. So, I'm gonna tell you what happened here in Atlanta. And it happened literally right here around the corner from my house. You know where they have the day laborers and people go and they pick up some day laborers. And it started out, a lot of these day laborers here in Metro Atlanta were, Hispanic men. But the minute them African immigrants hit, man, them brothers was running them out of there. They were working longer, harder, and for even a little bit less. And they was hustling 3 and 4, 5 different jobs a day. And I rode by the spot to get some help to remove some branches and stuff like that. One time I went, it was mostly Latino. The next time I came back, man, it was all Africans. So black men have drive and commitment and a willingness to work.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And people don't talk about it. The only reason they can have this shit is because we built the infrastructure for this shit.
Yeah.
Man, let's not forget one thing.
Most of the railroads built east of the Mississippi weren't done by the Chinese. That was done west of the Mississippi. East of the Mississippi, it was mostly done by black men. That's where you get the legend of John Henry and all that kind of stuff.
I'd like to make one
Good
quick
shit.
statement about the Africans.
Real quick. Hold your thought on that. I do want to hear about that. The RX-0 says women rely so much on moving the goalposts, but their arguments are quickly becoming more and more faulty by the second. Thank you very much for that super chat. I agree. Okay, here we go. I'm glad I don't even know who this is. You telling me I look like Violent. I watched like half of the first season of Black Lightning like over a couple years ago, so I don't even remember the character, so I don't even know who you're talking about. I like the casual. Oh, okay. I thought you said I like the casual shit, Bernard. I was like, whoa, what you talking about, woman? But she's a casual shirt. I was like, okay. And let's see. I thought I had. Hey, I get out of there. Don't blow my head up. Don't blow my head up. I see the comments. Don't blow me up. Damn, I'm missing a super chat. Somebody else. I thought I had another one. I thought I had another. No, I don't. No, I don't. All right. Go ahead, Arch. I thought I had another super chat I had to read.
I just wanted to point out.
Thanks everybody for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Go ahead.
I just wanted to point out how ridiculous that 50-50 thing is, because he said African immigrants are coming over here and the men are working, and nobody's looking at how I see a lot of African immigrants. The women are working too. And on top of that, the men and the women are working together, and they're having they're doing the same thing the Hispanics are doing in a way, where they're having multiple families in a home, while at the same time they're sending money back to Africa. I mean, Africans send a lot of money back to Africa, so they're doing a lot as a unit. And then you can't say it's African culture, like you want to, like black women like to blame a lot of shit, when the African women are busting ass just as hard as the men. They're not complaining. They're not saying I want 50-50. And the reason why other groups of women do that, because other groups of women are not selfish, and they actually care about their family and their children. Black women don't care about their family or their children, which is the reason why black women have such a high divorce rate, and most of their children drop out of school and can't fucking read. So when you start caring about other things outside of your goddamn self, you are more willing to make sacrifices that benefit the whole family, rather than your goddamn self, your nails, and your fucking fat ass sitting on the couch, eating up all the space and watching loud ass TV.
That speaks to what Sister George said when she was like, I'm not trying to summon her right now, but she had said a woman ain't gonna go against her best interest, and then shout out to Silent Lamont,
not a black
pointed out first that that her best interest may not be the best interest of the kid, may not be the best interest of the greater good for a family, for a unit, for anything productive that's going to have good long-term results. Her best interest is a whole nother thing.
Well, the thing about black women, if they were investors, they'd be terrible investors, because they don't even know what their fucking best interest is. Other groups of women have an inkling of what her particular best interests are. Other women understand her best interest is in her family and in her immediate circle. Black women don't understand that. In their mind, their best interest is in their vanity and their praise. They're good at all that. Yeah, go ahead.
It also seems like they don't know when to get into the market, when to get in on the ground floor, because one of the things that I've noticed in watching Kevin's show is that the men in the middle income are basically invisible to these women. Guys making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, they don't even see them. They're invisible to them. And those are guys.
They see that guy if he has that, like I mentioned, the other forms of currency that they like. They'll see a guy making 50, 60K if he's just some dude that they just want to get with, they want to hook up with him. That's more or less where they at with that. But as far as, right, if they're thinking about long-term best interests of future children, you have told a lot of them that, look, you're above average, albeit slightly above average. If you could get a guy who's, an above average earner at about 70K willing to commit to you, that's it. You got it.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, those are the guys.
Raises. He might get some raises and might hit six figures at some point. And then you really came up. But they don't see it like that.
But I'm thinking those are the guys you should be hustling to the gym for, and being your most feminine, sweet self, and using your soft voice and all that kind of stuff. Those are the guys you should be doing that for, because you actually might have a shot.
Black women don't believe they gain any value in the gym. They think their degrees gain them more value than their ability to have a fitness plan. So yeah, their salvation really is in the gym, not in the fucking colleges. But you can't tell them that for shit.
Yeah, no, that's true. They actually believe that. They were de facto taught that, even though I'm not going to let that be an excuse, but they've actually thought that, if they get
an education, it improves it. I get it. The first, they lead with the fact that they're educated. They lead with their money. And we talk about tricking versus game in this sector. Well, anybody that leads with their education or leads with their degrees, you're tricking.
Oh yeah, that's female tricking.
It's not even that with the women though. The problem with them leading with their education, They don't lead with money because the only thing they're saying, well, your money's got to be comparable to mine. But they really don't like talking about that. But they lead with the education and stuff because that's their good citizen certificate, and they they quantify everything in, well, I went to college, so I'm better than you, and you got to have what I have or more as far as that, because then you're going to make me look good, not realizing that they're millionaires, and plumbing is a nasty job. It is. So they killed me with that mess. That that whole money thing. They don't want to tell you how much they make, because then it's going to make you start asking other questions like, well, how much you got to pay back in student loans? How much credit card debt you in? Okay, a house, you got you're riding around this BMW and all that stuff. How much debt? What's your debt to income ratio? When they give up how much money they make, it enables you to ask more questions.
Okay, I get that, and you're right. But that's actually, I hate to say this, that's a millennial boomer problem. Like, Gen X problem, like how much debt you have because you're only making this money because of you went to school and got in debt. The Gen X problem is when a girl tells you how much she makes, you got to ask her how many posts did you make on OnlyFans to make that money. So you basically you basically have to ask that's a different type of question. Like, how much did you expose yourself to get those dollars?
See, I would say that's
let's be honest. The young women are the only women worth dating anyway. Nobody gives a fuck what these old hoes do. Like, that's what I've been saying. You got all these old hoes in this sector talking about, oh, we want marriage. Bitch, nobody cares. You're 30-something. We don't give a fuck what you want.
They don't want marriage. They want a wedding.
Indigenous TV, he says, concubines never go against their best interests, which is why black women are the concubines in America. Their interests are tied to white rule. I don't do the right rulership thing. I don't know. All right. We got to go to Soul Provider, but first, I think Silent is on some.
I'm gonna fall back.
What's up, nigga? What's up, nigga?
What's up, nigga?
This is Lala Riley.
I don't know who the fuck that is, man. That looks familiar. That's a Black Lightning character.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't shit.
Hey
man, what's going on, Riley?
I know this.
You know I ain't shit. All right, people.
All right, peace, Silent. Go ahead, Soul Provider. You got the mic.
Yeah, man. Hope everyone's doing well. What's up, Riley?
Oh yeah.
So a lot of the brothers have said a lot of intelligent things. A lot of you guys level-headed and actually have sense. But when I hear this 50-50 shit, if it's usually coming from Windows XP niggas and Windows XP broads who are like old and shit, it's just really irrelevant, because honestly, they should have figured that shit out a long time ago. But for millennials, right? We have what these chicks are doing is they're going to college. They're not in STEM degrees. They're getting degrees, and then they pick the fucking wrong major. They get all this debt, and then they're waiting for the guys to marry them so they can pay all their bills, loans, and debt. Mm-hmm. So that's what's going on. And honestly, what's also happening is a lot of these fucking millennials, they're doing 50-50, having couples with fucking dogs. They're not having kids. They're having dogs. That's what they're doing.
They're that dink. What was it? Dual income, no kids. They on that.
Yeah, they're doing that, but they're just doing.
Well, it's true. Millennials or Gen Z, they are having less kids, but then they supposedly having less sex, so they say. So, but if they are coupled, I mean, I guess that would make sense that they would be living together.
Well, they're having less sex because they're less attractive. Nobody wants to really fuck them. They're getting fatter, so.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like, feminism gave them the jobs and shit, so they have all these salaries, but then they want to be treated like, it's back in the years past, to be housewives and shit like that. But my solution is, right, if you want to be a housewife, don't fucking go to college.
Right.
So it's after high school, just fucking get married then. Do that.
You want to know something else about economics that we don't, when it comes to feminism and economics? If you look at the wage gaps in America and the earnings increases versus it staying stagnant in America, you will learn that the earnings of the increase of the average American's wage basically plateaued and became a flat line once women entered the workforce. When women entered the workforce, the gap between the rich and the poor dramatically increased, and the wages increased. The wages of the working class flatlined. It's a direct correlation between feminism, women entering the workforce, and the wages stopping it to increase.
And also, you got to consider this. I mean, millennials and Gen Z, they're not even buying houses. They're like stuck at home. They're renting.
Yeah.
They have roommates and shit. They're not fucking buying houses. I mean,
you can't buy a house off 30,000. 46% of Americans make 30,000. Less 70% of Americans make less than 50,000. You can't buy a house off that.
Yeah. So when I hear this 100% shit, I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like, these millennials they can't do that shit. They're making 50K and they get lucky.
And the average
even with
credit
STEM
card
degrees,
debt's
they can average
30,000.
like 50 to 70 with STEM degrees off college.
That was a flaw in the study that nobody pointed out. That's why part of what prompted me to go ahead and do the study, that they went from 18 to 34. Like, you're talking, like, most of that study is young people where a man definitely below 25 shouldn't be paying for 100% of everything for a chick. Like, that's
no man should.
And then you have to consider childcare. I mean, fucking childcare. I mean, that shit has increased.
Oh my god!
Like, I mean, people are quitting their jobs just to take care of their kids and shit. I mean,
it's cheaper not to have a job than to get daycare, because you're gonna work. You're gonna work 40 hours a week just to give half of after paying Uncle Sam, half of the earnings you get from that job goes to childcare. So it's not, you're just basically working for free. Like,
well,
it's
part of that daycare hustle is like this. If you don't make enough, typically the state will pay for your daycare, and that's why I said the daycare hustle, because my cousin ran a daycare where she used to charge through the roof because she knew most of the people didn't make that much money, and so she charged through the roof, and basically the state paid her. So she did the daycare hustle, but it is a sweet spot to where you could, I forgot where it's at, but it's and I was right in that spot, when I was married, to where my income was just high enough to where I wouldn't have qualified, but I had to pay the shit. So it was like a weird thing, because I thought about it. I was like, man, goddamn, like, we both working, and we taking the kids to my cousin who got a home daycare, and she wanted us to try to get on the shit, basically, so she can, get all that money. But I was like, but we had just not qualified. But I was sitting there like, damn, if we made a little bit less, we could, free daycare it up, So it is a sweet spot where a lot of them chicks that be saying this is a bullshit argument, the faulty argument they try to throw out there. They try to say child support ain't enough because of what we pay in daycare. But when you look at what the chick make, she qualified to get free daycare paid for by the state. So shit, they ain't really paying for daycare. And most of those that make enough money to afford daycare, well, they can afford it. But it is a middle ground sweet spot, well, not so sweet spot, where you don't make enough to afford it, but you don't make enough for the assistance either. And those are the only ones that I feel bad for. But most of the time, chicks ain't struggling like that paying daycare, because if you don't make enough, you will qualify for the assistance.
Yeah, but those programs are about to end. And let's get one thing clear: I don't feel sorry for none of them hoes, even the ones that got to struggle with daycare, because at the end of the day, Black women have bought into this nuclear family dynamic more than any other group of women. Other groups of women, they work as a what they call an extended family unit, where you have Asian women, Hispanic families, where they will all have 2 or 3 families, and daycare doesn't even become an issue, because there's not always an adult home to watch the children. See, Black women, you can't do that with our women, because our women don't get along with each other. And this is coming from a nigga that's had, I lived with 2 women before, and I've seen Black women they just don't like each other. They can't be around each other for too long. And then their idea of a relationship is just me and that nigga in the house. That's just my dick. I don't want nobody else around, and I want to be taken care of. But I want every luxury in the world.
Yeah,
but
man,
they can't even live with their own goddamn mama in the same house with their nigga. So it's really weird where they want everything, but they have the inability to come up with a cohesive plan on how to get everything. They just have expectations, and if you have a goal without a plan, then it's just a dream. So basically, all they have is fucking dreams.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. I mean, we have to consider for the people who are doing 100% and making maybe 50 and 40K. I mean, what's their mental health like? I mean, don't forget those people that are doing suicides and shit are usually men, and even black men don't even live that long anyway. So, I mean, that sounds kind of stressful to me to have only 40K or 50K and you're doing 100% everything, bills, loans, debt, everything on your own.
Yeah. Just to be called a broke ass
all
nigga at
that.
the end of the day. Just for your women to get on TV and call you a broke ass, bum ass, Pookie and Ray Ray nigga. And you making the same amount every other group of men are making. The only difference between you and every other group of men is every other group of men have women that allows the men, the more logical creature, to financially structure the house, to financially plan and come up with a game plan for the family. That's the only difference. We're all making the same amount of money, but the only difference is our fucking coaching. You're a fucking diva. You're the fucking diva of every goddamn team. Keep getting traded for team to team because as soon as you jump on the team, you fuck up the team chemistry.
Yeah, and Archer, what you
Gabe,
said.
hey, real quick, hold on, Gabe. Hey, where you from? He says when I made 50 to 70K, I could barely do anything, let alone purchase a house. Do you live in LA? Because I've bought a house off less than 50K. But I mean, like I said, I live in a small town, so I don't know. There's that. But I bought a house off less than 50K, making less than 50K a year. So it's crazy. Like the different places, it's like a completely different country. When I be hearing people talking about living in them big cities, New York and LA and all that shit.
Yeah,
it's like a different country. I will never even fully understand that until I go move out there, which I probably won't.
And black women don't even understand that. They don't even understand how the cost of living affects your how much spending power you have with a certain wage. They don't understand how, like, if you live in like a place like Hawaii, New York, or California, you can make six figures, but it ain't gonna mean jack shit. You'd be better off living in a rural area making 50 grand. But they don't understand that type of shit because they don't give a fuck about economics. They don't take economics in school. What the fuck do they fucking take? They take social workers. They give a fuck about feelings. That's the, like, bitch, you taking social work and you want to bring social work into family planning. That's not how it fucking works, ho. Get your mind right.
And it's not everyone. Everyone, there are, like even my parents. My parents are African, and the one was a nurse, one was an engineer, and they worked as a unit and raised 3 kids. All went through college and are successful. And a lot of other African Americans do that shit too. So I mean, it's just what you have to do. I mean, if you're not going to want to do that, I mean, well, good luck as a millennial or Gen Z. Just good luck.
It's about how you make your money work. And black women, like I said, because they buy into everything American, and black women are the most Americanized, the most westernized thinking group of people, even more than white women or white men. They buy into the whole stories and the whole narratives America sells to its populace more than anybody else. Because of that, black women cannot get outside of the goddamn box when it comes to planning a future. They stay within the box of college, work, house, that script that society gives to them. They stay within that script while every other group of people are able to jump in and out the script whenever it benefits them. They're the most linear thinking motherfuckers on the planet.
They are a lifetime. They are a lifetime Hallmark movie. It's a lifetime Hallmark movie, and they can't break that cycle. They can't break that program.
All right, Gabe A. Okay, he's answering my question here. He says, I'm from Detroit, but I didn't live in the bad parts after college. Rosedale Park area on the west side. Okay, it is some high cost of living areas out there in that area, but I don't know. 50, 70K, that's normally enough to do a little something. But like I said, I live in a small town, so that is what it is. Shit, Chaos, you ain't said nothing in a while. I might wrap this bad boy up pretty soon. What you got?
The only thing I will say is this. I said this before. Are you living beyond your means? And a lot of black people on average want to live like the Jones. Whether you got it or not. And that's where the divide happens. And I'd agree with Arch because if you're a woman, you're consuming a lot. Then obviously it's beneficial for the corporations to say it's better to really not only care to women, but to try to give them as much money as possible because we know it's going to go back to us tenfold. That's actually logical right there. And you think about the wealth, I never thought of the wealth gap even in America that changed since they made women work. Because think about this. There was one point in time in American history, if you're married to your wife was tax exempt. But now she has to be included. So you're taxed with your wife now. So all this data is how much money you can keep in the house and the family. And the way you're going to accomplish that, you're going to have to work together as a couple. There's no way around it. You know, the continued separation between man and woman, especially women play their part in this separation. I tell you, you're going to get what you deserve. So when they say 1 in 4 of y'all are going to be lonely, die alone and stuff, that's a reality. You got to do something different. You're going to have to do something different.
Like I said, they can just skip college. Just don't even go. Just go to high school and that's it. If that's what you really want.
This is my thing with the college. If they're going to go there, they should do like their other counterparts. You should be focused trying to at least get a mate while you're in college. If you're not doing that, I don't know what to say. You could still do it, but know this: by the minute you start making more than men, the possibility of you getting married very decreases.
Well, let's see what.
That wouldn't be the case if they didn't have, you know, the mentality or the thought process of whatever I make, a man has to make the same or more. Then we know how that go. Because once she get up to 150K, then that guy's 150K is obviously worth more than her 150K out on the market. So
black women are lying. They're not making hundreds of $1,000s.
Oh, I know that.
What are the degrees most black women go to school?
I mean, you're right.
No. I got a point here. Because I'm going a little diatribe, but I got something going for right here. What degrees do black women mostly go to school for? Social work. Now, if you look at the top 5 highest paying degrees, number 1 is engineering.
Yep.
87% of people that's in school for engineering are men. Pharmaceutical science, 48% are men. Mathematics and computer science, that's 67% men. Engineering, and you got chemical engineering. You got all lawyers. But that's the no. We're talking about actual lawyers don't even whatever. But that's not whatever. When you look at the lowest paying career fields, you got cosmetology, that's 70% of women. You got early childhood education, that's 97% of women. You got theology and religious vocation, that's 60% men. You got human resources and community organizing, that's 80% women. You got social work, that's 88% female. You see, when the women just go to school, most of the time, in the top 5 highest paying career fields, only one of them are women represented in a good number. And they're only representing at 48%. And the top 5 lowest paying career fields, only do men show up more. And they only show up more by 10%. So women our black women who are bragging about their educations fall right into that range of other groups of women who go into fields that don't pay much from the jump. And then on top of that, men are still able to make more money than them because one thing men can do is we're more willing to show up to work when the boss needs us, which can allow us to get a higher wage. We're more willing to work 70 hours versus 40 hours. And in many cases for black women, since they call off for work so much, 30 hours. So it's a big difference.
Real quick, Jackie's Retro, I can guarantee that's household income. The average salary is not 94,000 for the average person. Is no way in hell is that damn high. That could be the average household income.
You gotta learn how to read. It's gonna say household or individual. Learn how to read a chart.
But shout out to Jackie's Retro. Appreciate your super chat. Also another one coming in, David Johnson back in the building. He says you can't win if your woman is big on Western ideology, consumerism, and materialism, but she refuses to understand and practice group economics. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
He's right.
David Johnson. All right. Archer, you were saying something. I cut you off, I think.
No, I'm good.
Have
I
you-
got
have
my
you
point. I
wrapped
got
it
my
up?
point across. Everybody
Okay,
understood.
cool,
we all
cool,
men
cool.
here. I don't gotta say everything for us to read between the lines.
Yeah, no, yeah, okay, cool. All right. With that said, fellas, man, we about to wrap this bad boy up.
All right.
Get on with my day. I'd like to thank everybody who came on the panel, everybody who super chatted. I don't even got my phone. I've probably been getting cash apps and don't know. My phone is upstairs. So somebody probably been cash apping me. My bad. If you hit the cash app, thanks. I appreciate it. But yeah, everybody who liked the video, watched the video, hopped on the panel, all of y'all, nothing but love and respect and peace. And we are out of here. I might, not making no promises, but might do something tomorrow. Might do a night show too. We don't know. We'll see. I might start.
Yo,
doing
Bernard, man, it ain't
Yeah,
peace without
yeah, I
chicken
might put up
grease.
something
Peace out, bro.
tomorrow.
You said peace ain't peace without chicken grease.
All
Peace.
All right, man.